Everybody needs to calm down, okay? Comments, messages, PMs, everybody asking me for Overlord Tapu Lele skills, and that's what we are going to check it out today. And it's actually awesome. Hey everyone, welcome to a new video, and today we are going to take a look at Overlord Tapu Lele, and as you guys can see over here, we already have some interesting things going on. I will basically explain every single thing that she has and possible actually Easter eggs, things, leaks for the future. Let's go. We can already see over here that Tapu Lele has more abilities, but is this actually true though? Because if we go over here to Overlord Sword, we can see the secret technique over here, but on Tapu Lele there is not. This is mostly because over here we have to ignore because this is actually Overlord Lunala's abilities, but this is not something to ignore, and I'll tell you guys at the end. But for now, we can assume that Overlord Tapu Lele, once it's released, it probably will not have any third or dream abilities. And just like we did yesterday, the skill descriptions of Overlord Tapu Lele is in the description. Okay, we have it over here on Pokeland Legends Club, and if you want to translate anything on the website, feel free. Up here you can select your language, so you are free to translate to whatever you need. So I am zooming in so that mobile users can read easier on the screen. Passive in battle increases your own special attack by 8%. When other psychic type Pokemon move for the first time, increases Overlord Tapu Lele's action points, just like any Overlord weather buffer. And also, just like any other weather buff, the weather buff cannot be dispelled, and if it is attempted to dispel, it refreshes instead. But one very spicy thing over here, for every 5 actions of your psychic type Pokemon, they get an extra action. So if you have a very fast psychic type Pokemon over there, they move 5 times. On the 5th time that they move, they will just move again right after. And for those who already play for a while, I think you guys know what type of Pokemon would fit very well with this Tapu Lele's buff. Let's go to the skill number 1. Dealing fairy type special attack damage based on 20% of your own HP and special attack. Damage based on HP will ignore defense, so it's basically like true damage based on the Tapu Lele's HP. Deals 10% of the enemy's max HP in Reaper damage, so an extra 10% Reaper damage, and if the Pokemon are flying, diving, underground, etc., deals a 10% Reaper damage to those. Okay, cooldown of 2 rounds, skill power 50, and it's a single target. On the Z skill though, the only thing that changes is the damage based on your own HP and special attack. Instead of 20%, now it's 25%. And also, it hits Shadow Force Pokemon, which did not hit before. Going to skill number 2, which is the weather buff, it's what people are waiting for. All of your Pokemon have a 25% chance of moving again. All of your Pokemon, it's not limited to Psychic type Pokemon. And this buff lasts for 3 rounds, and also increases the action points of a random ally Pokemon. Okay, I'm missing the word random over here, but it's a random allied Pokemon that it will get his action points increased. On top of that, the normal weather buff increases psychic type skill power by 100% and both defenses by 50% for 3 rounds, and the cooldown is 3 rounds as well. Now, the Z buff has also something interesting. Besides the first part of the buff, which is exactly the same, we have an extra effect over here, which is called Traction. All of your Pokemon, it says all of them, so it doesn't matter if they are psychic type or not, all of your Pokemon can be affected for the traction effects for 3 rounds. And in those 3 rounds, there's a 25% chance of increasing action points for a random allied Pokemon every action. Cooldown 3 rounds. And let me just explain to you guys what this means exactly. So basically, if Overlord Tapu Lele uses this buff on your team, does not matter if they are psychic type or not, they have the traction effect on themselves. And every time one Pokemon moves, there's a 25% chance that this Pokemon will make some other random Pokemon on your team move. So, and this is for all of your Pokemon. If they are doing this, as I said on Discord, this is basically action points for everybody. He gets an action point, the other guy gets an action point, everybody gets an action point, and it's crazy. Because technically with this buff, you already have a 25% chance of moving again. But on top of that, you also have a 25% chance of making somebody else move again. Going to skill number 3, deals Psychic type special attack damage with 20% chance of increasing action points to a random allied Pokemon. As we can see over here, more action points, and on the Z skill, guess what? The only thing that changes is instead of having 20% chance of increasing action points to a random allied Pokemon, now you have 100% chance. So after using this Z skill, you will for sure make a random allied Pokemon move. And now let's go for the ultimate, where usually it's not so interesting because it says that it reduces the target's physical attack, special attack by 30% for 3 rounds, but most of the meta Pokemon are already immune to stat reduction, so this is not one of the most appealing things ever. But there's a little bit more into it. It also says that permanently reduces the target's skill power by 30 up to 3 times. Of course, stacking up to 3 times would be kinda impossible in a real battle, since we are not expecting Tapu Lele to survive enough to use 3 times the ultimate. But skill power is something that usually can be reduced, even if the target is immune. And when I say the target is immune, I mean immune to stat reduction, because we can see the stat reduction on our Pokemon and we can see the immunity to stat reduction, but skill power is never something that is 100% sure if your Pokemon is immune to skill power reduction or not. And as it says over here, cannot be dispelled, but the Z skill is even more interesting. Besides reducing physical attack and special attack by 30% for 3 rounds, also says permanently reduces target's skill power by 60 and the Overlord skill power by 60%. This is interesting to say the least, because I have no idea what this translation means exactly. It could mean the Z skills, so it says like Z skills have their skill power reduced by 60%, or maybe it could mean that all Overlords have their skill power reduced by 60%. It's actually something that, according to this translation, I have no idea what it can mean exactly, but if you guys have any idea, just let me know in the comments. And of course, for another reminder, the link for this article for the linked translations is in the description. At the start of the video, I told you guys that there was something interesting, an Easter egg and a leak. And when I was looking at the abilities, I noticed something very interesting. Let's look at Tapu Koko, for example. We have the skills over here of Tapu Koko, like we have the icons. Look at the icons, okay? We have better icons over here. And let's take a look at Tapu Fini, or Tapu Lele in this case. Tapu Lele, we have some pink icons over here. And then Overlord Tapu Lele, it has the normal icons, but then look at the passive. What does the passive remind you of? Let's look at the Resonance Tapu Koko, for example. You guys can already see what's going on, right? So I believe this over here is a leak for a possible future Resonance Tapu Lele coming in the future, and it can be awesome. Now, you guys already know that Resonance Deoxys is supposed to exist, at least the normal form. When we were taking a look at the skills, I told you guys that there's a very interesting Pokemon that I have in mind to play with Tapu Lele. Tapu Lele has a lot of action points, and Tapu Lele is a Psychic type weather buffer. What other Psychic type Pokemons that we have as an attackers, and something that interests me a lot, is Deoxys. Speed Deoxys. This is in Portuguese over here, but basically Speed Deoxys has a lot of action points. If you guys go to your game in the English version, you can read what Speed Deoxys does. With the ultimate, he tends to move again. So what I'm thinking is, with the action points of Tapu Lele, every 5 rounds the Pokemon moves again, the Psychic type Pokemon moves again. I can see in the future a Resonance Deoxys with Overlord Tapu Lele. All this Deoxys needs is more in-battle speed, and this has a very good chance of becoming a meta Pokemon. I can already see a team of Overlord or Resonance Speed Deoxys with a Mesprit and Overlord Tapu Lele. It would be awesome. I would freaking love to see it. I would, for sure. Of course, there's other possible Psychic type attackers, like Armor Mewtwo over here could be a very nice addition. If a Resonance for this Pokemon ever comes into the game, would actually be very interesting, since he already has so much in battle speed. If he gets more in battle speed and a Resonance form, would be quite interesting to say the least. Also, could this Tapu Lele somehow give life to this Resonance Mewtwo Y? Could be interesting to say the least. And also Resonance Lugia, even though Lugia probably fits much better in a flying team, honestly. But Tapu Lele as a Psychic type buffer could be played with Lugia, yeah. What do you guys think of this Pokemon? Do you guys think it has the potential to actually be a meta weather buffer, and for the future having Resonance Psychic type attackers and actually have a new possible meta? You guys let me know what you guys think in the comments, and as usual, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys on the next video.